This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Put your money in motion. Drive VMW, VM Wealth Management. Transform your everyday.
The time by VM Wealth Management is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Tuesday, October 7, 2025. $2 million reward offered for information about the criminals who killed 5 people in Commodore, St. Catherine. And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says he's confident the police will catch the Commodore killers. IC report into Dr. Chris Tufton's role in the award of contracts to Market Me is to be tabled in Parliament today. In regional news, the leader of Ghana's main opposition party assembles a team of lawyers to fight money laundering indictment in Florida. In international news, renewable energy overtook coal as world's leading source of energy for the first time in over 50 years. In sports, ex-Wendy's pacer Ian Bishop wants change in mentality from the tested team's beleaguered batsman. And in business, U.S. shutdown to continue after funding measures fail again in the Senate. The details after the break.
Sagicor is spreading the word. Catch it early.
Catch it early.
Catch it early. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Early detection can save your life. Don't drop the ball. Get screened for breast cancer today. Do your self-examinations regularly and schedule your mammogram. Make sure you're prepared. Get Sagicor Life Critical Illness Insurance. Access up to 25% of your sum insured on early diagnosis of breast cancer. Conditions apply. Catch it early.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Ministry of National Security and Peace has announced a $2 million reward for any information leading to the arrest and charge of the perpetrators of Sunday's gun attack in Commodore Linstead in St. Catherine. The shooting left 5 people dead, including a 4-year-old girl. Reports are that armed men dressed in police attire pounced upon a group of people at a shop in the community and opened fire. 8 people were shot. A dog was also killed. National Security Minister Dr. Hurst Chang is appealing to members of the public to share any information about the incident. Dr. Chang and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness visited the grieving families of the victims on Monday. Members of the Police High Command also visited the area. The ministry is seeking to assure the public that every available resource will be deployed to ensure the perpetrators are apprehended. Persons with information are urged to contact the Linstead Police at 876-515-2689, the National Intelligence Bureau's tip line at 811, Police Emergency at 119, or Crime Stop at 311. And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is calling on the police to closely monitor activities in the community of Commodore to avoid reprisal killings. Dr. Holness says this advice is a key lesson learned from a similar mass shooting in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon in 2024.
We have seen this before. Not so long ago, we saw Cherry Tree Lane, where I visited, and from what I have told and what I have seen, I don't want to speak too much on the operational issues. That's the remit of the police. But it would appear to me that the circumstances are similar, and there are things that we would have learned from the Cherry Tree Lane incident, and one of them is to prevent reprisals. And I'm certain that the police will be acting in such a way to ensure that there are no reprisals, or to prevent them as much as possible, and to be proactive in ensuring that there is a proper security presence and cordon in the area to protect the citizens here and to prevent any retaliation coming from outside or even from inside going out.
Dr. Holness was speaking on Monday in Commodore, where he led officials on a visit to the site of a mass shooting incident on Sunday, which left 5 people dead, including a 4-year-old girl. Sunday's incident bears similarities to the Cherry Tree Lane murders that left 8 people dead and several others injured in August 2024 in Clarendon. The Prime Minister says that the police will maintain a long-term presence in the community.
The second thing that we have learned is that whatever we do as a security response must have endurance. So the criminals, sometimes they will go and hide, and as the Commissioner said, they have safe haven and people protect them and surround them, and then they wait and then they come back. That would be a fatal error on their part, because what we have built into the security forces is endurance. So they will stay in the community, they will maintain a long-term presence, and they will not just wait out the criminals, they will actively seek the criminals.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. And the police have imposed a 48-hour curfew in 3 communities in Linstead, St. Catherine. They are Commodore, Trinity and Banbury. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Monday and is due to continue until 6 p.m. on Wednesday. And a Sunday night's mass shooting that left 5 people dead in Commodore Linstead, St. Catherine is believed to be a reprisal attack in an ongoing gang feud. That's what Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, told Ricardo Brooks on Nationwide at 5 on Monday evening.
So the brief you've gotten so far is that this is a reprisal attack?
Element is an inter-gang, and elements of reprisal are in it in the community. The specific person that there seems to have been a long-standing activity out of the community, and they decided to go at the family members out here, which is one of what raises deep concern, not only from a security seat, but from the constituency I used to represent. When they begin to attack family members, the trauma is far more severe, and the challenge to police also more difficult.
Dr. Chang says the police know some of those who may have been responsible for Sunday's deadly attack.
Any suspects so far?
The police have, but I wouldn't go into that now. So they're briefing. They've gotten some good intel work, and they're working at it 24/7. The entire Year 5 team was out there, and they brought in supporting elements from outside of the area to do the interrogation, questioning, and look at all the connections. I would now do to see where they might have been where the other gangs would be from, who they relate to, who have relationship and conflicts in the area. In fact, the police now have a very effective monitoring system and mapping program where they map all conflicts.
Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of National Security and Peace. And Dr. Chang concedes that mass shooting incidents have the effect of eroding public confidence in the police.
It will hurt. I don't think we'll get a bigger setback as happened in the past, because I think there have been the confidence in building in the police, and if they get a quick apprehension, it will in fact maintain the position. In fact, the multiple killings of this sort frightens everyone, the entire country, including not only the community. But when we look at the raw numbers, you realize that if once the police succeed, you will be able to hold it, right? For the first 6 days of this month, we're actually 60% behind. The 5 yesterday will move them to within 50% of what was last year this time.
Dr. Harris Chang, Minister of National Security and Peace. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday evening. A man who escaped police custody by breaking free from lawmen and Indicom personnel when his handcuff was temporarily removed to sign a statement has turned himself in. He is a 29-year-old Herbie Jr. Ballantyne of Fraserwood, Highgate, St. Mary. Ballantyne, who was shot and injured after attacking the police with a knife, was receiving treatment at hospital. Following an interview by Indicom at the facility, Ballantyne's handcuffs were briefly removed to allow him to affix his signature to the statement collected. He reportedly managed to overpower the Indicom personnel and the police and escaped from the facility. Ballantyne was urged to turn himself in immediately. The 29-year-old turned himself in at the Islington Police Station in the parish. A report by the Integrity Commission into alleged conflicts of interest involving Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, the Ministry of Health, and the public relations firm Market Me is set to be tabled in the House of Representatives this afternoon. It's understood the report examined whether Dr. Tufton used his power to direct the ministry to award contracts to Market Me. It's also understood that the report examined the state of the relationship between Dr. Tufton and one of the principals of Market Me and whether that relationship had a bearing on the award of contracts to the company. The report is among 4 reports sent by the IC to Parliament, which are due to be tabled later on Tuesday. This will be the first sitting of Parliament under the third term Holness administration. Now, the long-awaited trial of former Education Minister Ruel Reid and former Caribbean Maritime University President Professor Fritz Pinnock on fraud-related charges is set to begin on Tuesday morning in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. The case was expected to start on Monday, but was delayed due to the absence of the presiding judge. The charges stem from multi-million-dollar transactions at the Maritime University. Reid and Pinnock are jointly charged along with Reid's wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, and a Jamaica Labour Party councillor for the Brownstown Division, Kim Brown Lawrence. The group faces several counts, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in public office, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. One witness is expected to take the stand later today, following preliminary submissions from both the prosecution and defense teams. Prosecutors Ashtel Steele and Nikisha Young-Shan from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions are leading the case. On the defense side, Reid is represented by attorneys Linda Wright and Anthony Armstrong, while Shannon Clark appears for his wife Sharon. Carolyn Chuck represents their daughter Cheryl. Attorney Oswest Senior Smith is appearing for Kim Brown Lawrence, and Hugh Wildman and Shamar Bryan are representing Pinnock. Developers of the House View housing project in Portmore St. Catherine have identified large rocks on the construction site, trouble retaining labor, and securing additional funding as some of the reasons for the delay in delivering the units. The units were promised from 2023. The reasons were outlined in several correspondences sent to the prospective homeowners by the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited, HAJ, and Right Solutions Developers Limited. Shalois Michael reports.
The development, located on Shooters Hill on the Hellshire Main Road, is a partnership between the HAJ and Right Solutions Limited. The frustrated prospective homeowners protested on Sunday, demanding answers from the HAJ about the lengthy delays, missed completion deadlines, and a lapse in communication with the responsible authorities. In a joint letter in 2024, HAJ and the developers Right Solutions Developers Limited noted that it was anticipated that the first batch of 101 units would have been delivered by November 2023. However, it said due to a confluence of events, the start time of the project was severely hampered, and this led to the delays in completing the first batch of units. It identified as challenges the overall rock content on site, as well as difficulties recruiting and retaining skilled laborers. According to the letter, HAJ and Right Solutions jointly gave a commitment to complete and hand over the first batch of 101 units by December 2024. But the 2024 deadline was missed. In another letter dated July 30, 2025 from HAJ, the agency noted that it continues to have active engagement with Right Solutions and other critical stakeholders. It says these discussions remained focused on identifying a viable path forward that would facilitate the successful delivery of the housing solutions for persons who have already paid deposits. HAJ in that July letter also wrote reaffirming its commitment to maintaining the agreed unit cost for those who were choosing to remain with the development. The next month, August, a letter from HAJ said the agency was deeply sympathetic to the significant delay in the completion of the units. The housing agency cited that the progression of the units required certain critical policy decisions to be finalized by the relevant authorities. It did not indicate what were the policy decisions. It also did not say which relevant authorities were required to finalize those decisions. The HAJ also said in its August letter that the necessary analysis and deliberations concerning those policy matters had been ongoing. It then went on to say a definitive position and a clear way forward would be established by the end of December 2025. At that time, HAJ said it would be able to formally advise about a final strategy, including a revised schedule for completion and delivery of the homes. The prospective homeowners say they were also told that construction was slated to begin in 2022, with a starting price for the two-bedroom detached homes set at $17.2 million. They were told that the units would be delivered by November 2023. Over 100 units were set to be delivered under the first phase of the project. The prospective homeowners say they may have to consider taking further action. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, in a letter from Right Solutions to prospective homeowners on October 1 this year, the developer confirmed that the model unit was completed. It said prospective homeowners would be able to view the furnished unit in 2 weeks. At that time, Right Solutions disclosed that the number of building shells stood at 53. The developer also said it had completed 47 foundations. However, Right Solutions noted that on the issue of arriving at a mechanism by which the title to the property may be made available in order to secure the additional financing needed to complete the units, it had not enjoyed progress as was anticipated. It noted that the resolution of that matter was many times beyond its control, and it has had to await what has proven to be a time-consuming bureaucratic process. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:16.
Decorate like a designer with BH Paints. The temperature brought to you by BH Paints is
26 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 22 degrees Celsius.
Give your team a glow up at the 2025 Business and Personal Etiquette Conference on November 6th at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Procure the presence, polish, and professionalism to make your team unforgettable. Hosted by Make Your Mark Consultants in partnership with Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Visual Tech Solutions, Nationwide 90 FM, Main Event, and more. Register now at makeyourmarkgroup.com or call 876-978-6001 for the Business and Personal Etiquette Conference.
Regional and international news this morning. Regional news in Guyana. Leader of the main opposition We Invest in Nationhood Party, Azruddin Mohammed, has vowed to fight on despite the latest setback with the United States government unsealing an 11-count indictment against him and his father for tax evasion. Mohammed told Kasha News that he will fight the charges. He says he's assembling a team of lawyers from Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago and the United Kingdom to clear his name in court. The indictment, unsealed on October 2, 2025, accuses Azruddin Mohammed and his father Nazar Mohammed of orchestrating an elaborate fraud and money laundering scheme involving gold exports, customs fraud, bribery, and the evasion of millions in taxes and royalties to Guyana. The indictment says Mohammed's enterprise, the Guyana-based gold wholesaling and export company controlled by the politician and his father, is alleged to have sold gold to buyers in Miami and Dubai while circumventing Guyana's revenue and regulatory system. The indictment claims that the defendants would reuse official Guyana Revenue Authority and Guyana Gold Board customs seals and export declarations originally applied legally on one shipment on subsequent shipments for which they had not paid taxes or royalties. Additionally, the duo is also accused of bribing Guyanese government officials to facilitate their alleged corrupt acts. International renewable energy overtook coal as the world's leading source of electricity in the first half of this year, marking a historic first. The BBC is reporting that electricity demand is growing around the world, but that the growth in solar and wind was so strong it met 100% of the extra electricity demand, even helping to drive a slight decline in coal and gas use. Developing countries, especially China, led the clean energy charge, but richer nations, including the US and EU, relied more than before on planet-warming fossil fuels for electricity generation. Coal, a major contributor to global warming, was still the world's largest individual source of energy generation in 2024, a position it has held for more than 50 years, and that's according to the International Energy Agency. China remains way ahead in clean energy growth, adding more solar and wind capacity than the rest of the world combined. This enabled the growth in renewable energy in China to outpace rising electricity demand and help reduce its fossil fuel generation by 2%. In contrast, the US and EU saw the opposite trend. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
New semester, your time to win! Pick up True products and you're in. True Ship, True Milk, and True Juice. True Almond and True Milk too. Refresh your semester in True Style.
Purchase any 6 True products between August 28 and October 13 for a chance to be one of 3 grand prize winners of $200,000 or 7 weekly winners of $15,000 in supermarket or book vouchers. Visit Tradewinds Citrus on IG for details.
New semester, your time to win. Refresh your semester in True Style.
Conditions apply.
Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Time now for your morning sports. Harborview and Treasure Beach recorded victories on Monday night at Druseland to move into the top 10 of the Red Neffy Jamaica Premier League standings. Harborview, on the back of a 7th-minute penalty from captain Trayvon Reed, tagged Dumbeholden 1-0, while Jaheim Harris also scored from the spot for Treasure Beach in the 83rd minute to defeat Arnott Gardens 1-0. Both teams are in joint 8th spot with 8 points, but Treasure Beach has a better goal difference. Former West Indies fast bowler Ian Bishop wants the Windies batters to stop being satisfied with mediocre performances as he looks ahead to the second test against India in Delhi starting on Friday. The hosts batted once in Ahmedabad to win by an innings and 140 runs.
We've tried different combinations. I want guys to stop being satisfied with 20s and 30s. The gold standard of Test cricket is for high volume scores, hundreds. Whether the guys have that within them against top class opposition, we need to start seeing that, because when the two Josephs are fit and they join Jaden Seals and maybe one of the or two of the other spinners, the bowling attack can compete with a lot of teams on the world stage. Time for the batters to hold their hand up.
Bishop admits that there is a huge disparity in quality between India and the West Indies.
Guys like Shea Hope and Roston Chase as captain have returned to this team. Tejarai Chanderpaul has come back, not to universal applause because he only had a truncated first-class season to come back in. They brought back John Campbell, who hasn't yet shown the wares to play long innings or to play aggressive innings. So I would say that Shea Hope and Roston Chase, to me, are the two guys that I expect more of, given that they've been around international cricket or Test cricket since 2015, 2016. There is a golfing class. There's no doubt about it. I don't think many people expected West Indies to come here and easily win a Test match, but you want to see more of an in-your-face battle.
Ian Bishop. Finally, in your morning sports, the countdown is officially on as Caribbean sports leaders prepare to converge in Georgetown, Guyana for the 13th CANOC Workshop and 23rd General Assembly to be held from October 17 to 20. This marks the first time Guyana will host the CANOC Annual General Meeting and Workshop. The event is expected to bring together sports administrators, athletes, partners, and key stakeholders from across the region to engage in dialogue and planning that will shape the future of Caribbean sport. In the lead up to this landmark occasion, the Ghana Olympic Association has unveiled the official logo for the CANOC General Assembly and Workshop 2025, capturing the essence of the host nation's vibrant spirit and natural beauty. The vibrant design embodies both the spirit of the Olympic movement and the unique identity of Guyana as host nation. It represents a striking convergence of sport culture and national pride. The logo brings together powerful elements symbolic of Guyana's rich heritage and development. And that's it for your morning sports.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, the U.S. Senate failed for a fifth time on Monday to pass spending measures that would reopen the government. Competing proposals by Democrats and Republicans were both shot down, failing to meet the 60-vote threshold required. Donald Trump had reiterated threats of mass layoffs if another vote failed earlier in the day. Thousands of federal employees were furloughed or ordered to work without pay when funding for their agencies ended 5 days ago. But the U.S. president hinted that he was open to trying to end the impasse and possibly strike a deal with Democrats who are sticking to demands that the legislation address health care. Republicans are pressing for a clean funding bill. The Democratic-led bill to extend the government's funding failed first on Monday with a 45-50 vote. Its Republican counterpart then fell short at 52-42. Soon after the vote, Trump took to social media to blame Democrats for shutting down the government. Chinese car-making giant BYD says the UK has become its biggest market outside China after its sales there surged by 880% in September compared to a year earlier. The company says it sold 11,271 cars in the UK last month, with a plug-in hybrid version of its CLU sports utility vehicle SUV accounting for the majority of those sales. It comes after figures from the car industry body, the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, show that sales of electric vehicles, EVs, jumped to a record high in September. The UK is particularly attractive to firms like BYD, as the country has not imposed tariffs on Chinese EVs, unlike other major markets such as the EU and the US. BYD, which offers cheaper models than many of its Western rivals, said its shares of the UK market jumped to 3.6% in September. Now, BYD's UK manager said the company will launch more new hybrid and electric cars in the months ahead. Finally, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar has gained 6 cents and will open trading against the benchmark US dollar, selling for an average $161.28. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican has lost 53 cents and will open selling for an average $116.37. And finally, the Jamaican dollar has lost $1.98 and will begin trading for an average $218.83 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:30.
Beat the heat by covering your walls and roof with exterior insulation and finish system with expanded polystyrene sheets to block heat absorption. Enjoy cooler indoor temperature and living comfort. Say goodbye to high energy bills because you'll be using your fans and air conditioners far less. Jamaica is hot, but your home doesn't have to be. Visit Freeform Factory at 6 Manspen Drive or call 876-757-2395.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Good morning, beautiful. How was your night? Mine was wonderful with you by my side. And when I opened my eyes and see your sweet face, it's a good morning, beautiful day. I couldn't see the light, I didn't know day from night, I had no reason to care. But since you came along, I can face the dawn, 'cause I know you'll be there. Good morning, beautiful. How was your night? Mine was wonderful with you by my side. And when I open my eyes, see your sweet face, it's a good morning, beautiful day.
Good morning to PPCK. It's International PPCK Day. Did I get that right, Mr. King?
No, we don't even say that name there. Patrice Pernella.
Charles
Pernella. The one I have to emphasize the Pernella. Charles King. Dr. Patrice Pernella, Charles King, good morning to you, Doc. Hope you're having a good, well, not even a hope. I know you're having a good one. Because if you never have a good one, we'd have to beat the bald man this morning. Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't say we can't and I beat him, I get all. So top of the morning to you first, Doc, you know, extra VVVVVIB, yeah? And then of course, top of the morning to our listeners or viewers, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, boiling the tea, brewing the coffee, good morning to you. And if you're on the roadways, you know, travel safely, people, travel safely and get to work and get the kids to school. Good morning, Tana.
Good morning, Said.
How you do?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I mean, can I do anything but great if I'm sitting beside you?
Why are you full of lyrics?
At this point on, it's a rhetorical question.
Said.
Yes, load up the clip.
Round of applause.
You see, I got Tana smiling and laughing this morning, people. Yeah, that's the laugh.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one, Said. Good morning to all our friends joining us in the YouTube chat space. Happy to have you this Tuesday morning, Tuesday, October 7, 2025. And good morning to all our friends out there in Radioland joining us on the FM band. Happy to have you listening as well. As Said says, whether you're brewing your coffee, tea, making your way to work or school, happy to have you listening to us here on NTM. And if you're joining us from the app or from the website, as usual, I say good morning to all of you. So I did see some of your comments earlier while I was reading the news about some disruptions in being able to listen to Nationwide. We're having some issues in St. Elizabeth, and Jermaine is saying to me the latest update is that we are good now. So those of you who've been DMing, calling that you were having issues hearing Nationwide in St. Elizabeth, you should be good now. So do let me know. reach out back to me on Instagram. And for those of you who have my phone number, give me a call and let me know if you can now hear us in St. Elizabeth. And we're working for the folks in Otrius who are also putting out their complaints that they can't hear nationwide via radio. On my mind this morning, in the time we do have on the clock for what's on my mind. You know, yesterday, last evening, Said and listeners, I was asking myself as the conversation continues about whether or is constitutional reform breath holding still the order of the day. Mm-hmm. You know, when someone says, don't hold your breath, it means something or, you know, is unlikely to happen. But are you holding your breath on constitutional reform in Jamaica? Or you think it's a goner, it's doomed, and it's not going to happen? Which side of the coin are you on this morning as we again watch to see if the process will exit the limbo space it has been in, or will it stay stalled indefinitely? And much has been said about the opposition leader Mark Golding's letter indicating that he wanted to meet directly with Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness on the way forward regarding the nation's constitutional reform agenda. This same correspondent said he rejected communication from the Prime Minister, that communication that invited him to meet with the Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Delroy Chuck. I can understand why folks are upset that Mr. Golding rejected that particular meeting and said the matter required both political leaders to meet face-to-face to find a path forward on the contentious issues. Folks who are upset posit that after such an election season that got quite personal at points regarding the comments the opposition leader made about the Prime Minister and in some respects his family, why should Dr. Holness meet with the opposition leader? Mark Golding is also being looked at by some in the country as the chief obstructionist to the constitutional reform process in Jamaica. It was said back in May last year by the Prime Minister that during Vale Royal talks in February 2024, he and the opposition leader had, quote, come to an understanding that the process would be a phased process, and he said that we would move on the matters on which we agree, which would be Jamaica becoming a republic. The other matters which were a little more complex and which consensus ought to be fully realized, that would come in the second phase of the process. At that time, Dr. Holness also said, coming out of those talks, that he had a reasonable expectation that the review process was proceeding in what he said was good faith. But of course, that was not what we ended up witnessing with the process. It ended up hitting a hurdle and crashing after the opposition leader declared that he wouldn't sign off on the Constitutional Reform Committee report unless the move away from the British monarch as our head of state coincided with the move away from the British monarch's court in London to the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court of appeal. Now, this ultimatum-style approach did not go down well with some, while others agreed in principle about full decolonization. What continued to stand out for me, Said, and listeners, though, were those Vale Royal talks where it was indicated that the opposition leader had agreed to a phased approach. How did we move from that to this ultimatum-style approach on the constitutional reform process? Those are the issues that have led over time to people now taking umbrage to the opposition leader's call to meet with the Prime Minister and figure out a way forward. They posit that the way forward was already in train before Golding derailed it. But Mr. Golding's call is to a large extent premised on the utterances of the Prime Minister, who indicated at his swearing-in that he was extending a hand to the opposition leader to move forward on Jamaica's constitutional reform agenda. A posture side that I thought was quite prime ministerial, quite statesmanlike and mature and demonstrating that he's here in the interest of Lady Jamaica's progress, because that's what all right-thinking people in Jamaica are about. And Mr. Golding taking him up on that offer is also similarly demonstrating that. He actually wants to be in the same room talking, and I'm not going to disregard that, despite some valid points that may make some of you dislike the gentleman at this time. Now, Dr. Holness's letter to Mr. Golding invited him to instead meet with Minister Chuck. And again, Mr. Golding rejected that and is calling for a direct meeting with the Prime Minister. Well, here's the thing. Mr. Golding is wearing two hats here. He's the opposition leader, and he is the opposition spokesman on constitutional reform. So the invite to meet with the minister who has portfolio responsibility, yes, that is quite in order. However, meeting with the Prime Minister must also be encouraged because Mr. Golding is also the opposition leader. And the progression of constitutional reform, that agenda, will require both of them speaking to each other and not at each other or through third parties if we are really about tangible progress being made on this important matter. Again, I understand the bitterness from a section of the society about this. Some of you are questioning trust and are still upset about some of the things that were said during the political campaign season. I get that. But this morning, I really do believe that another Vale Royal talk is needed. The Prime Minister, the opposition leader, Delroy Chuck, Zalika Jess, the former Minister Marlene Malahoo Fort, the newly appointed State Minister Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, and whomever else can advance the discourse and contribute to what we all want, a favorable outcome, and to move the meter, to move forward on this matter. And perhaps present to serve as a minutes keeper in those talks, and after make public in a joint statement what has been agreed on, so that it's their side in black and white, and no one can give us a he said, she said account going forward on this matter. The document is what we will hold them by. At the core of these talks will be the phased process continuing, or combining the move of Jamaica becoming a republic with a decision of our final appellate court. Which is it? That's one of the core issues that will be a part of those talks if it is to go ahead. The opposition did make several calls for the Prime Minister's position on the final appellate court to be known. Dr. Holness has publicly stated that he'd like to see a Jamaican final appellate court. That still means both leaders have differing views on what the nation's final appellate court should be. And the question is, can both now agree on one of the two? And for example, if yes to a Jamaican court, would making that transition at this time be easy? Or should we continue with the phased approach to become a republic and then in another phase complete that transition process? For me, I've always stood on the position of one step at a time, moving on what we have consensus on, getting them done, and working on the others as we continue the reform agenda. A work in progress. Progress is what we want. International observers have come here and opined that the phased approach is quite in order. And the former Prime Minister, P.J. Patterson, has also echoed similar sentiments. And as I watch the clock, that's how I want to end What's on My Mind this morning, because back in 2021, the former Prime Minister, P.J. Patterson, he said something that I want to leave us or leave you thinking about this morning. He said, quote, "We don't have to wait until that to move with what we already agreed on. We have a habit of making perfection the enemy of the good. All that does is cause undue delay." That's what the former Prime Minister said. And that's how I want to end What's on My Mind this morning.
truth is, you can live life to the fullest with HIV. This time signal is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The time is
12 minutes to 7 o'clock.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The Temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
27 degrees in cities Kingston and Montego Bay, 22 in the cool hills of Mandeville.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
It's 11 minutes going up to 7 o'clock, and it's that time for Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, Tide, morning, Tona.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
Right, and to the listeners, motoring public. And it's a busy Tuesday morning in that, depending on where you are, if you're on this Spanish Town Road now, going towards the 3 miles area, you're going to really find it busy in that area there, that 3 miles area. Going up Hagley Park Road also has traffic all the way up, going past the Walton Park Road, and going further up towards Wood Glen and then towards Harper Tree and South Oden Avenue, quite active at this point in time. Maxfield Avenue is the same thing. If you're the lower section of Maxfield Avenue coming up, you will find traffic. But it's moving, no major delays really. But in the Harper Tree Square area coming down southbound, going past West Kings House Road coming down, you're going to see lines of traffic heading into Harper Tree Square. It's going to be in other areas, but as the morning progresses, we'll give you details as regards other areas. So until then, it's back to you in the studios.
Thank you so much, Ludlow. That's Street Smart. Up next, your word of the day.
Your word of the day is spelt Premiate, spelt Premiate.
Premiate. Premiate. Premiate.
Premiate is your word of the day. Premiate meaning to grant a prize or an award to. Premiate, it's a verb meaning to grant a prize or award to. And dictionary.com is telling us that the word was first recorded between 1530 and 1540. First recorded between 1530 and 1540. Premiate, to use the word premiate in a sentence, the Jermaine, how about you come over here and tell the folks your sentence of the morning using a word of the day, premiate. The organizers decided to premiate the winning team with a trophy and a cash prize. Or the committee decided to premiate her outstanding essay with a special commendation. Another for you, the art gallery decided to premiate the most innovative sculpture of the year. Premiate is your word of the day. Meaning again, the definition provided by dictionary.com for the word Premiate, premiate, to grant a prize or an award to. Premiate, your word of the day. Will you have reason to use the word premiate? Perhaps you can drop a sentence in the comment section using our word of the day, spelt again PREMIATE, to grant a prize or an award to. It's a verb.
Ginger is a plant that originated in Southeast Asia. While ginger adds a lot of flavor to food, it's also been used as an alternative form of medicine throughout history. If you're rooting for a healthier you, consider adding ginger to your diet. In Food for Thought today, this feature will explore 6 health benefits of ginger. Better digestion. Ginger helps speed up the digestion process. Someone with digestive issues such as indigestion, constipation, or irritable bowel syndrome (IBS) might find relief by adding it into their regular diet. It increases movement in the digestive tract and promotes healthy enzymes that help break down the foods we eat. It improves immunity. Gingerol, the bioactive compound found in raw ginger, boosts immunity with its antimicrobial and antifungal properties. Ginger also contains antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. The combination of these properties has many benefits, which include improving coughs, lowering fevers, fighting off infections, relieving headaches, and easing other symptoms associated with the common cold and the flu. It relieves nausea. One of the most well-known health side effects of ginger is its ability to relieve nausea. Whether it's from motion sickness, migraines, morning sickness, or general stomach problems, ginger helps to calm it. It does so with its anti-inflammatory properties, better digestive responsiveness, and hormones that regulate blood pressure to calm the body. It may help with cancer. While it is not a cure-all, its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties help protect your body. Ginger is also a safe option to reduce the symptoms of nausea and pain often associated with cancer treatment. When you're undergoing chemotherapy, adding ginger into your diet helps combat the treatment's side effects of nausea or dizziness. It reduces pain. Ginger is a natural pain reliever. This makes it an excellent substitute for over-the-counter pain medications. It acts as an anti-inflammatory and works to eliminate compounds in the body that result in pain. Its anti-inflammatory properties reduce the pain associated with arthritis and increases joint mobility. Arthritis sufferers are often prescribed anti-inflammation medication to lessen their symptoms, but ginger works as a natural alternative. It's a good weight loss aid. Some studies have shown that consuming ginger helps aid in weight loss. Ginger controls insulin levels, boosts metabolism, and aids in workout recovery. It gives your metabolism a boost and creates a feeling of fullness to prevent overeating. It isn't a fix-all, but when incorporated with other weight loss efforts, it can supplement your results. Ginger is a safe home remedy that is unlikely to cause serious side effects, and adding ginger to your diet is a simple way to improve your health. Good health is above wealth. That's it for Food for Thought. Until next time.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
How great a communicator are you? Let's call this session Communication Etiquette. Hi, I'm Tana, and this is your Lifestyle Pages. It's sometimes not what you say, but how you say that counts. You must maintain professional communication when interacting with colleagues. So, return phone calls and emails within 24 hours, even if only to say that you will provide the requested information at a later date. You must ask before putting someone on speakerphone. Try personalizing your voicemail. There's nothing worse than just hearing a phone number or someone's voicemail and not knowing if you're leaving a message with the correct person. People may not even leave messages. Your work-related emails should be grammatically correct and free of spelling errors. They should not be treated like personal emails. When emailing, use the subject box and make sure it directly relates to what you're writing about. This ensures ease with finding it later and a potentially faster response. Never say in an email anything you wouldn't say to someone's face. Underlining, italicizing, bolding, coloring, and changing font size make a mild message seem overly strong or aggressive. Let's improve our communication today. That was your Lifestyle Pages. I'm Tana.
News on the go. The latest stories from Jamaica and around the world are literally a finger tap away. Keep up to date with Teen Revolution 24 hours a day online via nationwideradiojm.com. Listen live, read the latest stories, hear every soundbite. Be a part of the vibrant online debate via Facebook and Twitter. Now you can get all your favorite premium nationwide content at your convenience. Visit the Android Play Store and download it for free today. NationwideRadioJM.com. All day, every day. Team Revolution.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore. Kingston or Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
27 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 26 southwest in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 22 degrees Celsius.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Tuesday, October 7, 2025. $2 million reward offered for information about the criminals who killed 5 people in Commodore St. Catherine. And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says he's confident the police will catch the Commodore killers. IC report into Dr. Christopher Tufton's role in the award of contracts to Market Me is to be tabled in Parliament today. And in international news, renewable energy overtook coal as world's leading source of energy for the first time in over 50 years. The details after the break.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Ministry of National Security and Peace has announced a $2 million reward for any information leading to the arrest and charge of the perpetrators of Sunday's gun attack in Commodore Linstead in St. Catherine. The shooting left 5 people dead, including a 4-year-old girl. Reports are that armed men dressed in police attire pounced upon a group of people at a shop in the community and opened fire. 8 people were shot. A dog was also killed. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is appealing to members of the public to share any information about the incident. Dr. Chang and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness visited the grieving families of the victims on Monday. Members of the Police High Command also visited the area. The ministry is seeking to assure the public that every available resource will be deployed to ensure the perpetrators are apprehended. Persons with information are urged to contact the Linstead Police at 876-515-2689, the National Intelligence Bureau's tip line at 811, Police Emergency at 119, or Crime Stop at 311. And Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is calling on the police to closely monitor activities in the community of Commodore to avoid reprisal killings. Dr. Holness says this advice is a key lesson learned from a similar mass shooting in Churchill Lane, Clarendon in 2024.
We have seen this before. Not so long ago, we saw Cherry Tree Lane, where I visited, and from what I have told and what I have seen, I don't want to speak too much on the operational issues. That's the remit of the police. But it would appear to me that the circumstances are similar, and there are things that we would have learned from the Cherry Tree Lane incident, and one of them is to prevent reprisals. And I'm certain that the police will be acting in such a way to ensure that there are no reprisals, or to prevent them as much as possible, and to be proactive in ensuring that there is a proper security presence and cordon in the area to protect the citizens here and to prevent any retaliation coming from outside or even from inside going out.
Dr. Holness was speaking on Monday in Commodore, where he led officials on a visit to the site of a mass shooting incident on Sunday, which left 5 people dead, including a 4-year-old girl. Sunday's incident bears similarities to the Churchill Lane murders that left 8 people dead and several others injured in August 2024 in Clarendon. The Prime Minister says the police will maintain a long-term presence in the community.
The second thing that we have learned is that whatever we do as a security response must have endurance. So the criminals, sometimes they will go and hide, and as the Commissioner said, they have safe haven and people protect them and surround them, and then they wait and then they come back. That would be a fatal error on their part, because what we have built into the security forces is endurance. So they will stay in the community, they will maintain a long-term presence, and they will not just wait out the criminals, they will actively seek the criminals.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. And the police have imposed a 48-hour curfew in 3 communities in Linstead, St. Catherine. They are Commodore, Trinity, and Banbury. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Monday and is due to continue until 6 p.m. on Wednesday. And a Sunday night's mass shooting that left 5 people dead in Commodore Linstead in St. Catherine is believed to be a reprisal attack in an ongoing gang feud. That's what Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, told Ricardo Brooks on Nationwide at 5 on Monday evening.
So the brief you've gotten so far is that this is a reprisal attack?
Element is an inter-gang, and elements of reprisal are in it in the community. The specific person that there seems to have been a long-standing activity out of the community, and they decided to go at the family members out here, which is one of what raises deep concern, not only from a security seat, but from the constituency I used to represent. When they begin to attack family members, the trauma is far more severe, and the challenge to police also more difficult.
Dr. Chang says that the police know some of those who may have been responsible for Sunday's deadly attack.
Any suspects so far?
The police have, but I wouldn't go into that now. So they're briefing. They've gotten some good intel work, and they're working at it 24/7. Several. The entire Year 5 team was out there, and they brought in supporting elements from outside of the area to do the interrogation, questioning, and look at all the connections. I would now do to see where they might have been where the other gangs would be from, who they relate to, who have relationship and conflicts in the area. In fact, the police now have a very effective monitoring system, a mapping program where they map all conflicts.
Dr. Horace Chang, a Minister of National Security and Peace. And Dr. Chang concedes that mass shooting incidents have the effect of eroding public confidence in the police.
It will hurt. I don't think we'll get a bigger setback as happened in the past, because I think there have been the confidence in building in the police, and if they get a quick apprehension, it will in fact maintain the position. In fact, the multiple killings of this sort frightens everyone, the entire country, including not only the community. But when you look at the raw numbers, you realize that if once the police succeed, you will be able to hold it, right? For the first 6 days of this month, we're actually 60% behind. The 5 yesterday will move them to within 50% of what was last year this time.
Dr. Horace Chang, a Minister of National Security and Peace, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday evening. A man who escaped police custody by breaking free from lawmen and Indicom personnel when his handcuffs was temporarily removed to sign a statement has turned himself in. He is a 29-year-old Herbie Jr. Ballantyne of Fraserwood, Highgate, St. Mary. Ballantyne, who was shot and injured after attacking the police with a knife, was receiving treatment at hospital. Following an interview by Indicom at the facility, Ballantyne's handcuffs were briefly removed to allow him to affix his signature to the statement collected. He reportedly managed to overpower the Indicom personnel and the police and escape from the facility. Ballantyne was urged to turn himself in immediately. The 29-year-old turned himself in at the Islington police station in the parish. A report by the Integrity Commission into alleged conflicts of interest involving Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, the Minister of Health and the public relations firm Market Me is set to be tabled in the House of Representatives this afternoon. It's understood the report examined whether Dr. Tufton used his power to direct the ministry to award contracts to Market Me. It's also understood that the report examined the state of the relationship between Dr. Tufton and one of the principals of Market Me and whether that relationship had a bearing on the award of contracts to the company. The report is among 4 reports sent by the IC to Parliament, which are due to be tabled later on Tuesday. This will be the first sitting of Parliament under the third term Holness administration. Now, the long-awaited trial of former Education Minister Royal Reid and former Caribbean Maritime University President Professor Fritz Pinnock on fraud-related charges is set to begin on Tuesday morning in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. The case was expected to start on Monday, but was delayed due to the absence of the presiding judge. The charges stem from multi-million-dollar transactions at the Maritime University. Reid and Pinnock are jointly charged along with Reid's wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, and Jamaica Labour Party councillor for the Brownstown Division, Kim Brown Lawrence. The group faces several counts including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in public office, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. One witness is expected to take the stand later today, following preliminary submissions from both the prosecution and defense teams. Prosecutors Ashtel Steele and Nikisha Young-Shand from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions are leading the case. On the defense side, Reid is represented by attorneys Linda Wright and Anthony Armstrong, while Shannon Clark appears for his wife Sharon. Caroline Chuck represents their daughter Cheryl. Attorney Oswest Senior Smith is appearing for Kim Brown Lawrence, and Hugh Waldman and Shamar Bryan are representing Pinnock. Developers of the Helsher View housing project in Portmore St. Catherine have identified large rocks on the construction site, trouble retaining labor and securing additional funding as some of the reasons for the delay in delivering the units. The units were promised from 2023. The reasons were outlined in several correspondences sent to the prospective homeowners by the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited, HAJ, and Right Solutions Developers Limited. Shalois Michael reports.
The development, located on Shooters Hill on the Helsher Main Road, is a partnership between the HAJ and Right Solutions Limited. The frustrated prospective homeowners protested on Sunday, demanding answers from the HAJ about the lengthy delays, missed completion deadlines, and a lapse in communication with the responsible authorities. In a joint letter in 2024, HAJ and the developers Right Solutions Developers Limited noted that it was anticipated that the first batch of 101 units would have been delivered by November 2023. However, it said due to a confluence of events, the start time of the project was severely hampered, and this led to the delays in completing the first batch of units. It identified as challenges the overall rock content on site, as well as difficulties recruiting and retaining skilled laborers. According to the letter, HAJ and Right Solutions jointly gave a commitment to complete and hand over the first batch of 101 units by December 2024. But the 2024 deadline was missed. In another letter dated July 30, 2025 from HAJ, the agency noted that it continues to have active engagement with Right Solutions and other critical stakeholders. It says these discussions remained focused on identifying a viable path forward that would facilitate the successful delivery of the housing solutions for persons who have already paid deposits. HAJ in that July letter also wrote reaffirming its commitment to maintaining the agreed unit cost for those who were choosing to remain with the development. The next month, August, a letter from HAJ said the agency was deeply sympathetic to the significant delay in the completion of the units. The housing agency cited that the progression of the units required certain critical policy decisions to be finalized by the relevant authorities. It did not indicate what were the policy decisions. It also did not say which relevant authorities were required to finalize those decisions. The HAJ also said in its August letter that the necessary analysis and deliberations concerning those policy matters had been ongoing. It then went on to say a definitive position and a clear way forward would be established by the end of December 2025. At that time, HAJ said it would be able to formally advise about a final strategy, including a revised schedule for completion and delivery of the homes. The prospective homeowners say they were also told that construction was slated to begin in 2022, with a starting price for the two-bedroom detached homes set at $17.2 million. They were told that the units would be delivered by November 2023. Over 100 units were set to be delivered under the first phase of the project. The prospective homeowners say they may have to consider taking further action. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, in a letter from Right Solutions to prospective homeowners on October 1 this year, the developer confirmed that the model unit was completed. It said prospective homeowners would be able to view the furnished unit in 2 weeks. At that time, Right Solutions disclosed that the number of building shells stood at 53. The developer also said it had completed 47 foundations. However, Right Solutions noted that on the issue of arriving at a mechanism by which the title to the property may be made available in order to secure the additional financing needed to complete the units, it had not enjoyed progress as was anticipated. It noted that the resolution of the matter was many times beyond its control, and it had to await what has proven to be a time-consuming bureaucratic process. To international news now. Renewable energy overtook coal as the world's leading source of electricity in the first half of this year, marking a historic first. The BBC is reporting that electricity demand is growing around the world, but that the growth in solar and wind was so strong it met 100% of the extra electricity demand, even helping drive a slight decline in coal and gas use. Developing countries, especially China, led the clean energy charge, but richer nations, including the US and EU, relied more than before on planet-warming fossil fuels for electricity generation. Coal, a major contributor to global warming, was still the world's largest individual source of energy generation in 2024, a position it has held for more than 50 years. That's according to the International Energy Agency. China remains way ahead in clean energy. That's clean energy growth, adding more solar and wind capacity than the rest of the world combined. And that's it for the news at 7.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:17.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho-Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
27 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 22 degrees Celsius.
New semester, your time to win. Pick up True products and you're in. True Ship, True Milk, and True Jokes. True Almond and True Moto. Refresh your semester in True Style.
Purchase any 6 True products between August 28th and October 13th for a chance to be one of 3 grand prize winners of $200,000 or 7 weekly winners of $15,000 in supermarket or book vouchers. Visit Tradewinds Citrus on IG for details.
New semester, your time to win. Refresh your semester in True Style.
Conditions apply.
Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
That time of the morning when we get our second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning to you, Ludlow.
Morning time again, Tona.
Morning time again.
All right, and the listeners, the motoring public and the traveling public and our visitors to our island, good morning to you, and not forgetting our, even out our transport operators, all right, they're doing the job, all right, and all the stakeholders. Now, the situation is that once you get onto, if you're in the Lyndhurst Road area, definitely going to have some traffic, and also Ross Road is carrying some traffic. When you go to the lower section, going onto Penrith Road and going further down to Studio One Boulevard, it's flowing, no great build up, and then going across the Slipe Road, going down, there's a number of vehicles flowing in that direction. When you get onto Euro Circle, it is also building, but it's moving again around this South Euro Circle East, the eastern section, and going further down Slipe Road and Slipen Road. Those also has traffic, but it's moving. And King Street, from the top of Euro Circle going down, and that's one way heading into North Parade. That is moving really beautifully. No delays there. But when you get into the parade section, or East Parade, South Parade, you're going to notice a number of vehicles traveling in that particular direction. Now, if you're on King Street, and this is south on King Street, heading up to the north, it's building, so you can see there's traffic heading up to South Parade from King Street. Now, Harbour Street, that road now, that takes a lot of traffic from Marcus Garvey Drive onto King Street. From Marcus Garvey Drive onto Harbour Street, lots of traffic heading eastbound. All right, so if you need to make it onto places like Hanover Street and King Street and all of these streets, you're going to have into some long delays there. Lots of traffic on Harbour Street. All right, so it's a second report for the morning, and no doubt the traffic will continue. And by the way, the lights by Harbour Street and King Street, it's out of commission, so be careful. It's a very tricky intersection, so be careful as you travel. It's over to you, Tona. At Street Smart, your safety is our concern.
Thank you so much, Ludlow, for that second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Up next, the front page.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hatley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
7:23. Thank you so much for staying with us. We now turn to the front page. Jamaica is set to open the Caribbean's first IICA Fab Lab, a state-of-the-art facility dedicated to driving innovation, research, and technology adoption in agriculture. The initiative was confirmed during a bilateral meeting with Jamaica's delegation, led by Agriculture Minister Floyd Green and Director General of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, Dr. Manuel Otero. The discussion took place on the sidelines of the 19th Caribbean Week of Agriculture, now underway in St. Kitts and Nevis. The IICA Fab Lab is short for Fabrication Laboratory.
It will serve as a digital workshop equipped with cutting-edge technologies to design and produce tools tailored for agricultural applications. The facility will also provide hands-on training for farmers, youth, and entrepreneurs to develop practical skills in precision farming, automation, and sustainable production techniques. So the significance of this development, we're going to talk about it. We're being joined by the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning to all your listeners and viewers. Happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us, Minister. Well, first of all, read the lead up a while ago, and I'm not going to lie to you, Minister, at all. I don't understand what this Fab Lab does. Could you explain to us in layman terms, agricultural terms, what is this Fab Lab? What does it do?
All right. So it really brings together technology and agriculture in a novel way. It's a space for ideation, for coming up with solutions, for co-sharing, and for training in a real term. So let's think about it as an advanced technology room for agriculture. So when you go into the space, you have everything from working with artificial intelligence around agriculture. You have an area that does virtual reality that can carry you through touring modern farms, whether here or in the world, so that you can learn about the techniques that are being applied elsewhere, let's say across the region by smallholder farmers in precision agriculture. And literally, you put on that virtual headset and it walks you through in a way that is really much more engaging and can give you a better outcomes in terms of training. Additionally, let's say you have a farming group, you can come into the space, you don't have access to the internet, you don't have access to some of the software applications that you need to utilize to look at your planting times, to look at how can you change some fertilizer, your nutrition element, and what would the outcome be. You can come into that space, use the tech and the software that is there, and run some of those quote-unquote experiments. So you can then go back out into the field and say to your farmers, listen, based on our soils, based on the regime that we're using, based on the fact that we're planting sweet corn, we need to reduce our nitrogen, we need to increase potassium, and this will give us better outcome. So at the end of the day, it's a space that uses the best of the agricultural tech around that you would ideally want all your farmers to have access to, but because we are in a small island developing state, access is still a challenge, especially to some of these technology-based solutions, and it brings them to the fingertips of your farmers. And one of the big things that I have seen that we have done, and there is one now in operation in Costa Rica, and thankfully a few years ago, I had the opportunity to literally tour it and to see it in operation. So one of the things that you can imagine that it does, it really attracts young people, because again, they see a different side of agriculture that's tech-based, that's solution-oriented, that can use different applications to make what happens on the ground much more profitable, much more meaningful. Just like that, and clearly the partnerships are with companies like Microsoft, companies like OpenAI, to use their tools to drive agricultural innovation.
And the lab, is it something that is being built from scratch, like a whole building, or is it a warehouse space that's going to be built and transformed now?
So what they did in Costa Rica, and I think the approach that we're looking to take is twofold, because clearly we want to see how quickly we can get this up and running, and it's something that I have been lobbying ICA for a little while. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture. They treat with agriculture across Latin America and the Caribbean, and does include US and Canada. And we've had a strong partnership with them. So having seen them establish one in Costa Rica, which kind of caters to Central America and that belt, I have been pushing them that we should have a regional hub in Jamaica. So the approach is going to be twofold. One, we're already identified a couple of spaces that we think we can retrofit to get the look and the feel. We are providing the building space because we're going to provide the technology, and they already have the funds earmarked and have started procurement in relation to devices and some of the things that we will do to outfit the space. So we have now 2 spaces that we're narrowing down to see which one will be more ideal, especially in terms of access to our farmers, to our young people, so that they really get the use of the land. So that is the first phase. In the second phase, and in discussion with the Permanent Secretary, is to build a sort of fit-for-purpose fab lab that will scale up what would be our first and would ensure that it has a much wider reach. So the first phase is to identify a space, which we have 2 already identified that we're going to finalize, which we're utilizing for the end of the year, and then to retrofit that space with the technology and to start the use. And then a medium to longer term solution is to build a state-of-the-art one for ourselves.
And Minister, you mentioned funding. Is this funding coming direct only from Government of Jamaica or from IICA? And what value are we looking at?
Yeah, I won't speak value as yet, but definitely the funding is from multiple sources. So based on the relationship and the arrangements discussed with ICA is going to provide all the funding to source the technology, and the government is going to provide the building space. And clearly any retrofitting and renovation, we need to ensure that the technology can be placed in the building and to have the look and feel. Again, when you walk into the Fab Lab, you should feel like you have stepped into a new era of agriculture. I mean, it's very bold, it's very immersive, it literally walks you through various experiences, then brings you into a room that you can sit down and do your planning and your ideation and with the full technology. But the other thing that ISA has been able to do, and we're going to do together, is to leverage support now from the major tech players in the world. So not only do they have they committed some of their own budget towards making this possible, but we're also going to engage the companies like Microsoft and other companies that they have utilized in Costa Rica for them to provide some resources so that, again, you have the cutting-edge software, you have the technology, and you keep ahead of that game because, as you know, tech is always evolving, especially in relation to agriculture. So it will be multiple sources, government and the private sector.
7:31, Minister. Hold the line with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:32.
One money, 2 combo. Burger King pick 2, come back again. Yo, that is it. Any 2 combo, double deal quick. It's a good look, pick any 2 you wish. Whopper Junior bacon and cheese, my favorite. American chicken sandwich or grab a big fish. Plus 2 small fries and 2 small drink. Double deal for my money and it have me a sing. One money, 2 combo. Burger King pick 2, come back again. Yo, get BK double deal now on a Burger King. Burger King pick 2, come back again. Yo.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
7:33. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're on the front page with the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, speaking about the ministry's plan to establish the Caribbean's first IICA Fab Lab for agriculture innovation. The minister tells us that this lab is a step into the agricultural future, and once you go in there, you should feel as if you are stepping into another era. Minister, you're there with us?
Yes.
So you mentioned that it will provide a hands-on training for the farmers, youths, entrepreneurs, and to develop these practical skills in, for example, precision farming, automation, and sustainable production techniques. Now, speak to me in real terms as it relates to the handicaps in Jamaica. What does this mean in real terms? Are we going to see increased production, better produce, cheaper prices? What does this mean for the regular Jamaican listening when it comes to agriculture?
Everything we do now in agriculture is to look at how can we tackle some of the long-standing challenges and ultimately to ensure that those who practice agriculture and fisheries in our country are more productive, that we can to increase production and ultimately get better returns on their investment in agricultural space, and all of that leads together. So yes, absolutely. Part of what we're looking at is how can we have more of our farmers leverage the technology in what they do? How can we expose them to more of the best practices around the world? How can we have young people who go into agriculture from a data-driven perspective? So how can we make that data available to them? What creative ways can we get to really attract them, lure them, teach them some of the principles we want them to put forward? So everything that the government does. So remember, this is just one of our initiatives. Clearly, we appreciate that some of the big challenges have been things like access to water. I think people are aware that we have been investing the most money ever in bringing in new irrigation systems, and we have launched Parnassus earlier this year, which is 700 acres under irrigation, and now all of those lands have been leased to people who are doing agriculture. We're looking to do Amity Hall, which is another 800 acres by early next year, and Essex Valley, which is down in South Manchester, South St. Elizabeth, which is 1,200 hectares. We expect all of that to come into fruition next year. We started our Peter Plains irrigation scheme, which is a $26 billion program, which will bring irrigation to some of our most productive lands in South St. Elizabeth. So on the irrigation side, we're driving that conversation and action. On the storage side, which has been a long-standing issue in relation to ensuring that in times of glut, as we are seasonal farmers, but to ensure that we can store, extend the shelf life so that one, our farmers will have less losses, and two, our consumers will have more access to affordable food right around the year. But it's also important as we build out those infrastructure that the training is top tier and that the access to technology, that we are using the precision-based agriculture. Well, I've said to the farmers, it's not just about ramping up your numbers, but how productive are you? How much are you getting from the acre? Are we aligning with world standards? Are we doing the soil tests? Are we then ensuring that our nutritional regime accords with the soils? Are we planting the right crops? How are we doing in relation to pest management, things of that nature? And are we ensuring that we secure our markets before we even plant? So part of what we've been doing at the ministry, and we would have just come out of our ministry retreat about 2 weeks ago. As I came back into the ministry, we had a 3-day retreat looking at all of those areas. So the Fab Lab is one aspect, and is understanding that modern agriculture is based on technology. And we do have a number of smallholder farms, and oftentimes they're not able to access the technology on the scale we want them. So we have to develop that space to work with our extension services, to work with our farmers, to work with our youth, so that they have that exposure, and then to put that back out into the farm. So yes, it will lead, and that is the plan. It will ultimately lead to increased production and productivity, to a more consistent supply. And we have set a robust target of trying to get to 1 million tons of domestic production by 2028. We are now, last year we were at 700,000, and this year we're tracking well. Clearly, And the things that we have to look at, how do we build better resilience to weather events that do come. So all of it ties in a big way.
And the storage aspect of it tying in as well, Minister, as you increase production, you will need spaces to store some of that coming out of the agricultural fields. And on that note, wanted to get an update on the storage facility in St. Elizabeth.
Yes,
will that be open?
We are basically finished. That is about 25,000 square feet of storage, definitely. One of our biggest outlays in the last 3 decades. Where we are now, trying to get the permits to come for us to have a launch of that, and we've already put it out because we wanted a sort of public-private partnership to manage the facility. Clearly, we've learned from some of the past experiences where these facilities are just government run, and sometimes it doesn't do as well as you want it to. That comes with not just storage capacity but also processing capacity, which we think is important, and we are spot on. As we drive production, and we've been seeing it this year where we're having some record quarters, it does create another problem in terms of market, in terms of excess produce, which leads to loss, and in terms of distribution, which we're trying to strengthen those systems. So that's basically good to go. We hope to have a private sector partner in the first quarter of 2026. I think when we launch it and put some more information out, as we did at the Agri-Invest Forum, we're getting already some good interest. Additionally, we're almost finished with our Kirkbrine storage facility. That one is attached to a content cluster and really brings together mining and agriculture. In that cluster, we worked with the farmers there to use old bauxite land to set up greenhouse structures. And now we're building out a storage that will serve not just them, but will serve farmers in the area. And we have started the work on Coleville, which is a $300 million project. Coleville was established a long time ago. Again, one of those that went through a rough time, was not maintained, and went into disrepair and has not been used for definitely maybe 2 decades. So those have great potential. I think 8 major storage bins. We're also going to look if in that modular Coleville we can have an area that focuses on helping some of our livestock farmers with storage. So we're doing that renovation. I think that is earmarked to finish in 2026. So you will see a lot of storage additional. Finally, we are working with CARICOM on a modular project where we're putting in some small containers in high production zones driven by renewable energy to provide, again, that outlet for storage. The first one we're doing is actually under construction now in the Agaman area, and we expect that to be finished in another few weeks and just put that into operation. Those will be operated through partnership with RADA and the AIC.
And Minister, this is someone here asking about the citrus industry, seeing them can't get in a lime.
Yes. You know, one of the things, and as you said, we were just coming from the Caribbean Week of Agriculture, and clearly one of the opportunities that it affords is to speak with your other ministers across the Caribbean and realize some of the challenges are the same, and we have to see how we can strengthen partnerships to treat with it. Our citrus industry was almost wiped out to disease. Citrus greening disease took out more than 70% of our plants, and what we've spent the last few years doing is doing the research work at Borders to kind of ensure that we have the varieties that are more resistant to the citrus greening, and we've established about 3 greenhouses that have just been focused on that, focused on looking at the varieties and the outcomes. Now, we think we've done a lot of that work, and now we are into our replanting phase. So we would have done a partnership with the Jamaica Bauxite Institute, first started in Manchester, distributing some plants for households, and also now going into farming. We also are working with the private sector to establish nurseries so that we can expand now the availability of plant material, now that we think that the varieties that we're working with are much more resistant. And at least one private sector company is on a robust mission to expand using irrigation support. So citrus is one of the areas that we're focused on. Clearly, why it gets more challenging is because it's not an area that we can really supplement by external sources because, again, the threat of disease is so high. Right? So we just really have to use the technology, use the research, and then replant our fields, and that's the phase that we're in now.
And just to go back to the Fab Lab, Minister, you said that the initial one, you want to use a warehouse space and to build that out, but then the second one will be, a whole new building of some sort. I'm not sure if you gave a timeline as to when that construction, that build out of the warehouse will get underway.
Yeah, so it's not we've identified, I won't call it a warehouse, but we've identified 2 buildings that are presently in the asset base of the ministry that we think can be retrofitted to give the look and the feel that we're going for. That will provide enough space for people to sit down and develop solution-oriented things, so work through a virtual lab and things of that nature. So we are to work with our partners to decide which one. We expect to do that by the end of the year. Procurement on the ECA side for the technology equipment has already started. They would have updated us last week that they are in that phase now, so they've already put out the tender and are in the procurement. So our indicative timeline is to try and get this up and running by the Caribbean Week of Agriculture, which is next year, which is a year from now, right? And that will be hosted in Jamaica. And we do believe it would make a lot of sense if we're able to formally launch our Fab Lab when we have the representatives from ECA with us. But clearly, if we can get it done before that, we will. But that is the indicative timeline that I've given to the team, right? We do understand, especially in terms of budget cycles, we will have to depend on some of the resources from our next financial year. But the good news is that from the technology side, ECA has already budgeted for that and started the procurement for that. So I think by December, we should have the space finalized, and then we can move forward in terms of retrofitting.
Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining Minister Floyd Green, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Anytime, thank you.
Good.
Birdshot fried chicken always ready. Birdshot, original crispy. Birdshot, Cajun spicy. Birdshot, a barbecue. Birdshot, we are go a Birdshot.
The time brought to you by Birdshot Fried Chicken in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is
14 minutes to 8 o'clock.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is...
It's 28 degrees in capital city Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay, and 23 in Mandeville.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Sagicor is spreading the word. Catch it early. Catch it early. Catch it early. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Early detection can save your life. Don't drop the ball. Get screened for breast cancer today. Do your self-examinations regularly and schedule your mammogram. Make sure you're prepared. Get Sagicor Life Critical Illness Insurance. Access up to 25% of your sum insured on early diagnosis of breast cancer. Conditions apply. Catch it early.
.48. Thank you so much for staying with us. A bit of news here before we continue with planned programming. The body suspected to be that of Santina Sargent. The 13-year-old The 13 years old student of Christiana High School was believed to be found in bushes, partially burnt. Yeah. That's the body suspected to be of 13 years old Santina Sargent. The student of Christiana High School was found in bushes, partially burnt. And that's believed to have been found. She's believed to have been found around 5 o'clock, thereabout last evening. And we're waiting for more updates as we continue. We're waiting for more developments as we continue to search for Jaden. Yes, but not so good news this morning.
Yeah. I was trying to see if Santina was also on the list of missing persons reports. I'm not seeing that so far, but I'll make another check. But yeah, news like that really jolts you.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah,
pretty heavy.
Only 13, only 13. What could have led to somebody taking her life and then also burning her body and just discarding her in bushes like that? Just starting out high school, because at 13 you're either first form or second form.
Or probably just, the school year just started, so probably just going into second form.
Yeah. A heavy day yesterday.
Yep.
And you're starting out Tuesday morning, and here we are again. But
yeah,
as you said, Saeed, we wait for updates from the police as to what exactly happened here. And Nationwide will be making some checks this morning again to see if we can get any further updates, any developments in relation to Jaden Smith. As you know, last week a search was conducted over, I think, 2 days after one of the staff members there, one of the teachers at Manchester High, indicating that Jaden was spotted in and around Mandeville. But when the staff were called out to him, he ran. We also brought to you more information in an interview with the principal of Manchester High School, Jasford Gabriel, who indicated that Jaden had taken all of his savings. His friends indicated that he had bought extra food and eaten more than he usually would eat on Friday before they left him at a particular restaurant in Manchester. And then after that, he went missing. And there have been a lot of developments in relation to that. Searches taking place by the police, other concerned citizens, the school community, family members there in Manchester trying to locate Jaden. A lot of appeal has also been made. So today, again, we will reach out to the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force in the Manchester space, as well as the school community's family, to find out if there's any more information, any leads that they may have gathered in relation to where Jaden might be. Yeah. But
13-year-old.
Yeah,
a 13-year-old child.
It certainly jolts. It certainly jolts. Yeah. And coming up off of yesterday, when you think about a 4-year-old, those other family members, indiscriminate shooting, and they're just shot up like that. A dog in a yard shot as well. It tells you the kind of people that are in our society out there.
Yep.
No longer a code about children, women, the elderly. Nothing like that. This is what we're faced with. But also, before we go to Across Jamaica this morning, a matter we have been speaking on since yesterday, when we first brought it in our newscast at 6, about the residents over there in Helsha who have been facing lengthy delays frustrated prospective homeowners who have made their deposits, were committed or promised certain timelines for the completion of their units at Helsha View Development, that development in Helsha. And there's been so much back and forth, and they've not been able to get their units. One of the prospective homeowners we had on yesterday indicating as well, she doesn't even know where her lot is. She doesn't even have a lot number, much less to say there's a shell of her unit. There's nothing. And for them, they think they've been getting the runaround from the HAJ, the Housing Agency of Jamaica, and the developers in relation to their units. What we have here is a paper trail, really, of correspondences sent by the Housing Agency of Jamaica, as well as Right Solutions Developers Limited, the developer, to the prospective homeowners, indicating over time their position, explanations on why the units are taking so long to be constructed and handed over to these prospective homeowners. For example, on November 28, 2023, the prospective homeowners are written to, and this one says, the HAJ and Right Solutions Developers Limited would like to thank you for your patience as we diligently work to complete and deliver the first phase of the Helsha View development. It was anticipated that the initial batch of units would have been delivered in November 2023. However, throughout the administration of the development, we experienced some challenges, resulting in a delay in completion. Nevertheless, we have resolved the challenges and we're now in a position to execute the development. We therefore crave your indulgence as we ramp up the activities on site to deliver the units, they say, as soon as possible. They also said, please accept our commitment to provide regular periodic updates on the progress of the works. And they also provided 2 personnel that prospective homeowners could reach out to if they had any questions. Mm-hmm. And then there's another letter that was sent in 2024.
Right. It says, good afternoon, purchasers. As you are aware, the Helsha View development is a joint venture project between the Housing Agency of Jamaica Limited and Right Solutions Developers Limited. It was anticipated that the first batch of 101 units would have been delivered by November 2023. However, due to a confluence of events such as challenges with the overall rock content on site, as well as difficulties recruiting and retaining skilled laborers, the start time of the project was severely hampered, and this led to the delays in completing the first batch of units. The HAJL and the developer take this opportunity to reassure you, our purchasers, that every effort has been taken to ameliorate and or resolve these challenges. In this regard, we jointly give our commitment to complete and hand over the first batch of 101 units by December 2024 and unreservedly regret any inconvenience caused. You will be provided with periodic progress updates via email messages and by postings on our website. In this regard, we ask that you visit us at HAJL, that's the HAJ's website /Helsha Views, where you can view pictorial representation of work being done on the project. Of course, they go on to mention who you may contact at HAJ and what seems to be as well the developer.
So that's one timeline that was pushed back, at least one timeline that we know about that was pushed back from November to December 2024. And then we're uncertain if there were any other, correspondence in 2024, but then in an April 2025 letter from the Housing Agency of Jamaica, it said to the prospective homeowners, we want to take a moment to sincerely thank you for your patience and the continued trust in Helsha View development. Your dream of home ownership, HAJ says, is incredibly important to us, and we deeply regret the delays that have impacted the timeline we originally shared with you. Now, HAJ says, as you know, this project has been developed through a joint venture partnership with Right Solutions Development Limited, where HAJ provides the land and project management, and Right Solutions provides the financing and construction. It says since construction began in April 2022, unexpected challenges such as delays in approvals, unforeseen site conditions, and economic impacts have affected progress. Despite these hurdles, we have been working closely with our JV, that's joint venture partners, to navigate those obstacles and move forward. While our initial goal was to deliver the first 101 units by December 2024, certain constraints have slowed implementation, and we understand how frustrating this must be for you. Please rest assured that we are actively exploring all possible solutions to bring this development to completion as a matter of urgency and to honor the contracted price. Your investment and commitment to this project means a great deal to us, and we remain focused on ensuring that your dream of home ownership becomes a reality. We will continue to keep you informed and will provide further updates as soon as meaningful progress is made, or within the next 30 days, whichever comes first. That was HAJ's letter to prospective homeowners on April 2025.
And then July 4, 2025, this is a letter now from Right Solutions, the developers. They say, we refer to a meeting held with you in April 2025. At the said meeting, a commitment was given to you that the model unit would be completed by the end of June 2025. Although we are a little shy of completing the model unit, we are pleased to advise that construction of the unit is well advanced. Roofing is completed, all windows have been put in, tiling of the unit is completed, and painting is advanced. There are, however, a few additional items to attend to, and these will be completed in the next 3 weeks. After the model unit is completed, we will provide a schedule for yourself and other purchasers to attend and view the unit. We will revert to you with further information on the completion of all the other units shortly. We again thank you for your patience, continued support, and faith in us. And that's from Right Solutions Developers Limited.
There's also one from HHJ that indicated in July that they're pleased to provide the prospective homeowners with an update now. And it says, since our last correspondence in April, the Housing Agency of Jamaica has continued active engagement with their joint venture partner, Right Solutions Developers Limited, and other critical stakeholders. These discussions remain focused on identifying a viable pathway forward that will facilitate the successful delivery of the housing solutions for which you have already paid your deposits. Your investment, patience, and steadfast commitment to this project are deeply valued. The agency says it remains resolute in its mission to make your aspirations of home ownership a reality. Accordingly, they say we reaffirm our commitment to maintaining the agreed unit cost for those who choose to remain with the development. We thank you sincerely for your ongoing understanding and support as we work toward a sustainable and positive resolution. Again, it says we will keep you informed of any significant developments once discussions with joint venture partners have concluded and financing options have been finalized.
And then they also sent another one, that's the HHA. Their purchaser, subsequent to our last communication in July of 2025, the one that Tawna just read, the HAJL remains fully aware of the frustration you are experiencing as a prospective homeowner in the Helsha View development. We are deeply sympathetic to the significant delay in the completion of your unit and, by extension, the deferral of your dream. As promised, we are writing now to provide you with the latest update on the capture on the project. We remain in constant and active dialogue with our joint venture partner, Right Solutions Development Limited, as well as with other key stakeholders within the government of Jamaica. Our singular focus is to develop a robust and actionable plan that will lead directly to the completion of the development. As you may recall from our previous correspondence, the progression of the project required certain critical policy decisions to be finalized by the relevant authorities. The necessary analysis and deliberations concerning these policy matters have been ongoing. We are now pleased to confirm that we anticipate a definitive position, and a clear way forward will be established by the end of December 2025. At that time, the HAJL will be in a position to advise you formally on the final strategy, including a revised schedule for completion and delivery of your homes. We acknowledge the inordinate delay this process has entailed. We sincerely crave your continued commitment, patience, and understanding as we work diligently to complete the critical phase and move swiftly towards successful delivery of your home. We thank you for your forbearance and assure you that we are treating this matter with the highest priority.
Said, I think we can leave it there. From what is indicated here in these correspondence, a lot of talk, a lot of,
just
back
thank
and
you.
forth.
We understand the frustration.
We're sympathetic.
But another couple of months.
Another couple of
and
months.
And then you come again. Thank you. We understand the frustration, but then another couple of months. And what I'm thinking about, Tony, is these are hard-working Jamaicans who have scraped to find a deposit.
And they had to come up with that deposit in about a week.
To come up with a deposit in about a week. And if they've come up with a deposit in a week in a Tana, based on industry practice with lawyers, they also have to come up with their agreement for sale fee, which is also cash, right? These hard-working Jamaicans have to come up with this from yesteryears, and up until now, I imagine they're paying. If they took out loans, they're paying for those loans already, and they cannot benefit. And yes, we understand some delay. But now we need to hear from the HAJ or its responsible minister, the Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness. And we need to hear from the developers. Because it cannot continue. It just cannot. Right solutions. We need to hear from them. And we need to hear from the HAJ. If not the minister himself, the Prime Minister, who went over there and broke ground for this development. Yeah? This is just pretty words. And hard-working Jamaicans can't benefit from their monies.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
When you want the food shell and make the rice well, just give me me Kendall. When it's all K-E-N-D-E-L. Give me Kendall.
Another quality product from the Carimed Group.
Just give me Kendall.
The time by Kendall Foods. The taste of quality is
5 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us, is
28 degrees in Kingston, 28 in Montego Bay, and 23 in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Across Jamaica this Tuesday morning, Jamaica's public health system has received a major boost through the donation of critical medical equipment valued at $49 million. JIS News says the items were contributed by Jamaican-born philanthropist Carol Pickard in collaboration with the National Healthcare Enhancement Foundation. They include diagnostic equipment and machines to provide life-saving support for sick and premature newborns. The items are set to be distributed across Kingston Public Hospital, Cornwall Regional in St. James, and Black River Hospital in St. Elizabeth. State Minister in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, where the NHEF falls, Crystal Lee, says the government is grateful for the donation, noting the value of partnership in strengthening the country's health system. Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., is again urging individuals seeking legitimate employment overseas to use official channels in order to protect themselves from fraudulent schemes and potential exploitation. He told JIS News that there are many unscrupulous individuals trying to fool people into believing that his ministry is recruiting through TikTok and Instagram. Minister Charles says that there are no registration or placement fees associated with the ministry's Overseas Employment Program. The Overseas Work Program facilitates temporary skilled employment for Jamaicans, primarily through Canada's Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program and the United States H-2A and H-2B visa schemes, which support the agricultural and non-agricultural sectors. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs Delroy Chuck is urging love and unity among students to create peace in schools and the wider society. The minister was addressing a Justice Day in Schools tour stop at Charlemont High School in St. Catherine in late September. Under the theme, Justice for Alawi, the tours are educational programs designed to inform students about their rights, promote access to justice, and encourage healthy conflict resolution. The students were sensitized about the various justice services offered by the ministry, including child diversion, restorative justice, and victim services. The objective is to equip students with the knowledge and skills to resolve conflicts peacefully, foster positive and collaborative environments within their schools and communities, while ultimately contributing to a more harmonious society built on peace and justice. Minister Chuck urged the students to exercise tolerance and respectful engagement with each other and settle any conflicts or disagreements peacefully. And that's it for Across Jamaica.
One money, two combo. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo, that is it. Any two combo, double deal quick. It's a good look, pick any two you wish. Whopper Junior bacon and cheese, my favorite. American chicken sandwich or grab a big fish. Plus two small fries and two small drink. Double deal for my money and it have me a sing. One money, two combo. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo, get BK double deal now on a Burger King. Burger King pick two, come back again. Yo.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Minutes after 8 o'clock, we're taking your calls. The numbers are 876-630-937-124. That's 630-937-124. And 618-8255. We're taking your calls.
What were you arguing about just now? Your breakfast will be great.
I can't see the reason why I order on the air.
No,
so,
leave it.
So I'll just say
leave it be.
It's the best bet. It's the best bet.
Leave it be.
Give it the hand you're dealt.
Exactly, Said. But today, if it is that as the proclamation is done, we do observe the first one. I don't know if we wait a year to do the observation or we do the observation right away. But yesterday, the Ministry of Education and Youth put out a statement indicating that October 7 has been officially designated as National Anti-Bullying Day. And in that statement, it noted that it was successfully championed by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, which is an agency under the ministry. Mm-hmm. And the Education Ministry was describing it as a landmark step to advance the National Child Protection Agenda. It says the proclamation signed by Governor General Sir Patrick Allen reinforced the country's collective resolve to confront bullying in all its forms and protect the dignity and well-being of children and young people. And I hope to see all the programs, the advancement in some of the programs already there that will accompany this proclamation, this designation, because it's not just about naming the day Anti-Bullying Day, but it's about all of the initiatives, all of the programs that will come with this. And Popper is saying, why not do it in Child's Month? A good question. Mm-hmm. Why was this not done in Child's Month? We could ask that too.
Well, it actually doesn't need to be done in Child's Month because you
but
have
I can see the reasoning.
You have a lot of adult bullies.
I can see the reasoning, especially because it's from the Ministry of Education and they're deeply focusing on bullying in schools, bullying among young people. But you are right, Said, because the ministry did also indicate that they will be taking initiatives to the community level through outreach programs for parents as well as the caregivers and the local leaders, perhaps like the pastors.
Yep, a lot of parents are bullies. A lot of people in authority are bullies. I mean, yeah. And the funny thing is, a lot of these adults that are bullies, they're only bullies over keyboard. Because when them see you face to face, them smile and soft, and all of a sudden, Exhibit A, the YouTube chat. But anyway.
They're bullies in the YouTube chat.
But anyway.
But Mintiru says, and Mintiru agrees with you, says a lot of adult bullies are here in the chat. Oh my.
Yeah. That's all them can do. Talk behind a screen and a keyboard. And then when them see you in person, it's a different story. But anyways, Mount make for talk. Good morning, Douglas.
Hi, good morning, Nationwide family.
Good morning.
How you do?
We do well as long as they not kick on over the ear, we alright.
None of them can kick you off.
I love that.
So we have to say I want to do the work.
Yes,
it is what it is.
I mean, things to say, but I'm going to say one thing is a burning issue. I heard somebody on my station last night said the opposition leader must apologize before you meet the Prime Minister. I agree. Why? A lot of people out here, after they tell so much lie, a lot of people out here have it as fact. So he must come out and apologize and tell them that he was telling lies because he want to win. Right? And after then, he can meet the Prime Minister. Otherwise, it's a no, because we want the people out here who is still having it the way how they say it in the election campaign. I will just stop at that. And many more the time is short. Have a good day.
Well, Douglas.
Yeah.
Let me be frank with you. It's not going to happen. You think it's going to happen?
No,
I mean, and this is not, hold on, this is not me saying whether or not what you're saying is right or wrong. I'm just saying from what I've seen, and history tells itself, the facts are there. After an election, you don't see the two political leaders apologizing to each other or one apologizing to the other. I've never seen it before.
I understand.
You might have more experience than me, but I have never seen it or read it before.
I'm 73 years old. I can tell you something. The great Edward Philip George Siaga said, I'm quoting him, it takes a very intelligent person to apologize. Have a good day.
All right, Douglas. Take care. Good morning, Dwayne.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, you know. How you do?
Let us do as you were still doing enough. Tanya?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
I would even come and say I want to agree with him. How you just responded, I also agree that they will not apologize. You know what? You know what I hate? I hate the fact to know that the person who are going to represent me in Parliament go on and tell some decent lies, and then have to go into the Parliament and say he is the Prime Minister. Oh my goodness! That to me, you make lie becomes relative, accepted as norm. Because we know that many things are being said, not negotiable. Because we don't have no facts. No facts was there to prove nothing. But people in Jamaica are gullible, and when you go into the rural area, people don't listen news as they would do in the cities. So whatever they heard, then they will believe it. So I agree, but I don't think that he will come out and apologize. I don't see that happening, right?
Should the Prime Minister meet with the opposition leader?
Of course, but I think that the fact that he disrespected him so much, and then if you talk about he mention his wife, look at the context, right? Yes, I believe he should, but if a man is a man, you apologize for what you have done, because you know. Because when I think that, I always said, I know if you people are looking into it and measuring into it, if the IC, whatever is in the IC is secret, where did he get the information to come and say things about it? Because it would be private to both him and the Prime Minister. So where did he get those information to come and say, illicit 6 or 8 or 10 or whatever? Where did he get the information from? Somebody must have given him out there, and so right there is some breach. If you get what I'm saying.
No, but it was in the annual report that a number of public figures, well, not public, no name was mentioned. Well, no name was mentioned, but it gave a number of people who were being investigated. I believe that was in the annual report. So that's where that came from.
So who was the first person they find when that come out? Who was the first person?
No, I'm not saying any investigations were concluded, and people were identified or anything. I'm saying the report just mentioned that they were looking at 6.
Yes, I know, but
then another report.
No. I understand what you just said a while ago. But
okay.
Let me say, how did he knew that he was only JLP member? Make up put it that way.
Here's the thing, Dwayne. We don't know who it is.
I know. But if he knew that he was the
opposition leader said the opposition leader said he asked all of his people, and all of them said no, not to their knowledge. And it's on that assumption that the opposition leader said what he said in public. But as to who those people are, we don't know. The IC is doing what it has to do, and doesn't speak on those matters publicly beyond what it has said in its report.
Yeah, but Mr. Phillips' son, Mr. Phillips, was the first one that was pointed out too. Remember?
That is a whole different matter, Dwayne. That has nothing to do with those investigations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. One quick other thing. I was mentioning last week about at Arthurwin Drive, the road there with the patrol. At the change, I was dug across the road.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to see it yesterday. I just want to highlight it because when it is done, they talk about it. So I have to fix.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do it, they will fix it. And if they can do something like that all the time, they will have these big trenches, in the road, especially when the water starts to fall and dig it out.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So it has been fixed.
Yes.
Great.
If I did it, big up to them. Kudos to them.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. But yes, you should meet with them and talk and put all the different and move on. The nation don't know to ever move forward.
I agree with that.
Linger, but we have to put forward. At the end of the day, it's not self, the country.
Which is exactly what I said this morning. Some people didn't agree, and that's fine.
You know, me tell myself, Tana, I don't care who is running the country. I'll run the country properly. I will support you. It no matter who.
Yes.
If I want Duppy, and the Duppy are really good, we support the Duppy. Right? It no matter who. You know, if you have a face, good is good no matter who does it. That's what I'm saying. And we must reach the point now where we don't go in a airplane, think it's a white man or a black man. We go in a plane, and we expect the captain is a man who will train, is a professional, and he can take this where I'm going. And I'm going to look whether I'm not in black or white. I'm a JPR PNP. He's the one who is fit to this job, and if he's doing it right, I will support him. And that's where we must move, not never be intelligent. And talk about me love, because no matter what the person does, you still love him, and I still give him my support. Even when I bring down the plane, no. Whether if you hate him, I'm going to keep the plane up in the air, and him go fly it. And if you love him, and if I drop the plane and go, I'm not going to plane play. Simple. Thank you.
All right, boss, take care. Good morning, Don.
Hey, morning, Tana. Morning, Saeed.
Morning.
Welcome back, Saeed.
Look up yourself.
You come with the English start, but you never even bring like a gift.
Jano star. Jano star, Don. Jano. I'll make good on that then.
You know something, young people? This morning I'm really saddened, and I extend my condolences to the family in Commodore. To be honest, I can't even wrap my head around what they're going through at this time. You know, and I just extend condolence to them and assure them that Jamaicans, I am praying for them, and I know other persons and people are praying for them at this time, because I know how hard it is. Yes, also I would want to weigh in, say my little bit on what is happening there with the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition.
Yes.
No, the Prime Minister wrote to the Leader of the Opposition. The press did not get a copy of that letter. We cannot, everything we do it in public. The Prime Minister wrote to the Leader of the Opposition, and it is I believe that the Leader of the Opposition should have responded to the Prime Minister, and when they have a breakdown, then you come out a road. That's my take on it. You can't just come into the public like that, and like him trying to draw out the Prime Minister. It's not good. And remember, the Prime Minister suffered a lot. We are humans with blood running through our vein, hot blood. You know, so I'm saying the Leader of the Opposition, his approach is very wrong. He has this attitude that, well, listen, you little colony man, I am who I am, so you will have to, so you just come out in the press. It is wrong. You must call wrong. You understand me? Right to the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is not a lawyer by any means, but the Prime Minister can't deal with legal matters like that. It is Prime Minister must have legal people to deal with legal matters. So I believe that the Leader of the Opposition's approach is wrong. But I will encourage the Prime Minister, because I'm a well-thinking Jamaican, and I want this thing to go forward. I know some people don't want, we do a lot of things to say, I want this to happen, but we don't want to leave King Charles because I'm one of his subjects. Remember that? Some people have interest in King Charles remaining because of their own individual interest. I don't want people to forget it. So remember, in the meetings earlier, they had reached a position where they could have moved forward with what they had agreed on.
Yes.
And Tana rightly said this morning what the former Prime Minister said. So there were things that they could have dealt with, but they didn't. He remained stagnant. However, I'm saying, Mr. Prime Minister, I always giving good encouragement. I'm encouraging you to invite the Leader of the Opposition to Jamaica House, because he will not be going into Jamaica House unless you invite him. So invite him.
Then don't.
Make him come and come to Jamaica House and have it there. Young people.
Which is what I said this morning, Don. If we really want this thing to progress,
Yes.
We're looking at leaders to just lead, Don, to just lead.
Yes.
We understand
Yes.
the feelings, and as you said about his blood run through our veins. We understand that, and we're coming from a season that was pretty nasty in certain respects. So I understand that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, when you sit down and you look on Lady Jamaica and certain things about Jamaica, you're like, you know what? Let me just put this aside and move on with the progress of Jamaica. No matter what other people want to say or whatever, I'm about the interest of Jamaica, and I want this for Jamaica.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put things aside and get it done.
And another thing that could have been done in Adon is deputize. I mean, I think if I were in that position, because every conversation, I think, is an inch closer to a resolution. I would have at least deputized then Zulika Jess, who is the spokesperson on justice. I would deputize her and say, go and have the meeting with Minister Chuck. These are our points, this is what we want, whatever, but still press on for the meeting, because a meeting is still needed between the Prime Minister and the opposition leader. But I would still deputize somebody and press the Prime Minister at the same time to say, PM, may you need for talk though, you know. May you need for have a conversation. I'm going to deputize somebody for got a meeting there, but may you need for have a conversation as well, you know.
Yes, that's true. Send Zulika, whatever her name is, and they have that person.
Yes.
Well, whatever her name, send that person.
Zulika Jess,
yes. You know, when I was going to school, Tana, that's long before your mother born. The worst thing, the biggest fight back at school is when you tell people about them mother and them father and them sister and them brother. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, Don, thank you so much for calling.
Are you living with HIV? It's time to access treatment, get back to business, and begin your path to a brighter, healthier future. The time brought to you by Jamaica AIDS Support for Life is
8:30.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The Temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is
28 degrees in capital city Kingston, 13 Montego Bay, 24 in Mandeville.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
If you are a CEO, HR, lead, or compliance officer at a regulated company, stop what you're doing, because what you're about to hear could save your company $80,000 USD this year alone. This is Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy, and I am your host, Chuku Emeka Cameron. Let's talk about a common trap. You hire an IT lead or maybe a legal counsel and give them another title, Data Protection Officer. But here's the truth. You did not hire a DPO. You gave someone extra stress. And when the regulator calls, or there's a breach, or employees start requesting their data records, that title becomes a liability. Think about it. Your IT director already has a full-time job, keeping systems running, managing vendors, preventing cyber attacks. Now you have added privacy impact assessments, cross-border data transfer agreements, vendor data processing contracts, monthly compliance reports. Same salary, double the workload, triple the liability. And here's the part nobody talks about: conflict of interest. Your IT director reports to the CTO. The CTO wants speed, innovation, new tools, but the DPO is supposed to say, wait, have we assessed the privacy risk? How do you think that conversation goes when they're the same person? Let's get granular about what that internal DPO actually costs you. Base salary and benefits, let's say 60,000 USD. Annual training and certifications, 10,000 USD. Legal and technical consultants for complex issues, let's put another 20,000 USD. Recruitment, onboarding, and HR administration, let's say 5,000 USD, totaling anywhere around 100,000 USD for the year. But wait, That's just the visible costs. Now, factor in the time your IT or legal lead isn't doing their actual job. The risk of mistakes from someone juggling 2 full-time roles, the delays in decision-making when they are overextended, the emergency consultant fees when things go wrong. Suddenly, those costs explode, and you're still not sure your DPO is qualified. Design Privacy's DPO as a service, $24,000 USD full stop for the year. Same regulatory compliance, better expertise, true independence, zero recruitment, zero headaches. Let me paint you a picture. It is a Tuesday morning. An employee submits a data subject access request. They want all the personal data you hold on them. You have 30 days to respond under the Data Protection Act. Your makeshift DPO gets the request, but they are already in back-to-back meetings about a system migration. They haven't started. Day 5, they haven't started. Day 15, they realize they need data from HR, finance, and marketing. Day 25, HR says they need more time. Day 30, you have missed the deadline. That's a regulatory violation. That's a potential complaint to the Information Commissioner. That's reputational damage. Now, imagine that same scenario with DPO as a service. Day 1, data subject access request logged in the system. Automatic notification sent to all departments. Day 7, first data collection complete. Day 14, legal review done. Day 21, response prepared and quality checked. Day 25, delivered to the employee with full documentation. Same request, different outcome, better governance. Here's the uncomfortable truth. That check-the-box DPO could be costing you anywhere about 800,000 GMD annually in inefficiencies, delays, and compliance exposure. You think you're saving money by keeping it in-house, but every time you miss a data subject access request deadline, regulatory exposure, delay a breach response, fines and reputation loss, mishandle vendor contracts, confuse consent requirements, you are risking fines, reputational damage, and board scrutiny. And let's talk about what happens when your internal DPO leaves. They give 2 weeks notice, you panic. Now you need to recruit a replacement, transfer institutional knowledge, retrain someone new, hope nothing urgent happens in the meantime. That gap, that's when breaches happen. That's when the data subject access request piles up. That's when regulators start asking questions. With DPO as a service, there is no gap. Design Privacy model flips the script entirely. You get a named DPO backed by a full team of privacy professionals. You get 24/7 emergency breach coverage, monthly board reports, complete data subject access request handling, automated staff training, direct regulator liaison, and full privacy audits. You don't get turnover disruption, vacation coverage gaps, conflicts of interest, and surprise consultant bills. It's plug-and-play compliance, and it works. Here is something regulators care deeply about. DPO independence. The Data Protection Act requires your DPO to operate independently. They cannot be someone who determines the purposes and means of processing personal data. Translation: the CTO cannot be the DPO. They decide what systems to implement. The Chief Marketing Officer can't be the DPO. They decide what data to collect for campaigns. The CFO can't be the DPO either. They decide what financial data retain. The DPO needs to be able to say no without career consequences. Can your IT director push back on the CEO's new project? Can your legal counsel challenge the board's data strategy? An external DPO can, because their job security doesn't depend on saying yes. That independence isn't just regulatory compliance, it is risk management. Let's talk return on investment. Save 25,000 K annually by cutting emergency privacy consultants. No more scrambling when complex issues arise. Month 3, cut data subject access request response time by 60%, faster turnaround, better documentation, 0 missed deadlines. Month 6, slash board reporting prep time in half. Your compliance reports are ready before you ask for them. By year 1, you have saved 81,000 USD in hard costs alone. By year 2, you have gained trust from your customers, governance maturity recognized by regulators, operational efficiency across departments, peace of mind for leadership. That's a strategic advantage no one talks about. Let me tell you what it looks like when DPO as a service is working. Your marketing team wants to launch a new customer loyalty program. They reach out to the DPO. Within 48 hours, privacy impact assessment completed, data minimization recommendations provided, consent mechanisms reviewed, vendor contracts vetted. Your marketing team launches on time with confidence, with compliance built in. No delays, no pushback, no surprises. That's what strategic compliance looks like. Not a barrier, an enabler. You are already required to have a DPO under the Data Protection Act. The question isn't should we. The question is, are we paying more to get less? 2,000 USD per month, 7-day setup, full regulatory protection. This isn't a support service, it's a governance strategy. Let your competitors gamble with makeshift DPOs and crossed fingers. You lead with privacy, you build with trust, you grow with confidence. This has been Data Protection Matters. I'm Chuka Emeka Cameron. Let's stop gambling with compliance and start investing in trust.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets.
The time that Grace could move is
8:39.
Looking for a gym that's got it all? Welcome to Express Fitness, where fitness meets convenience. With 24/7 access, you can work out whenever it suits you. And with island-wide locations, we're always close by anywhere and anytime. Love classes? We've got them. From aerobics to dance to spin, you name it, we've got it. Our certified trainers are here to take you on a journey. Call us at 888-FITNESS or visit our website at expressfitnessja.com. Express Fitness, your goal or mission.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Just saw a video. I don't even know what age the person looks like a young adult perhaps. I don't know, but could be a child or a young adult. Ran across the road.
Looks like a student.
Yeah, like a student almost.
Because that appears to be a uniform.
Yeah. Ran across the road. Literally turned around, went on his set, not his marks, on his set, and then just ran right back in the road, right into a motor vehicle, a van that slapped him.
Because it appears he was dilly-dallying through traffic on the road for some time. And it appears someone is across the street videoing this young man dilly-dallying across the street. He's wearing a yellow shirt, khaki pants, black shoes. So, appears to be a student dilly-dallying through traffic, being recorded, and then the worst happened. What appears to be a Voxy came down the road and just hit him, you know, and he landed somewhere over in the grass there on the lawn at someone's house. Police personnel on a motorcycle was coming down right behind that vehicle. We are not certain if this was a fatal hit or if the young man remains in hospital. I'm hoping that is the case. But I don't know. For me, Saeed, you see children out there in the streets unattended. You don't get out your phone and record them. You inquire, where your mother? Where do you live? You know? I don't know if it was a prank or what he was doing, but
I hope it's AI at this point.
You know, where do you live? Do you need assistance getting home? Are you lost? Those are the questions you ask. Just to be recording the thing and then blam, just like that.
Please just check up on your mental health, and if you know somebody that you know they look like they're going through something, just check up on them. Like genuinely check up on them, because this is concerning. It's concerning. Anyways, to the birthdays.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 44.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King. Order the new cheesy fries from Burger King and load it your way with bacon, jalapenos, crispy onions, or extra cheese. Limited time only.
Quiet of the night, I whisper dreams to the stars, hoping that the light would guide my heart to where you are. Every longing, every tear, a prayer sent above, for someone to hold me, someone to love. You are the prayer that God answered, the miracle I never knew. In a world so full of strangers, my heart found its way to you. Every step I took was worth it. Every moment led me here. You are the prayer that God answered, the love that conquered every fear. In the storm and in the rain, I felt the weight of the world, but your love came and washed away the pain like a precious pearl. Now I know that wishes do come true when you believe. For every lonely night I faced, you were my reprieve. You are the prayer that God answered, the miracle I never knew. In a world so full of strangers, my heart found its way to you. Every step I took was worth it. Every moment led me here. You are the prayer that God answered, the love that conquered every fear. Every dream, every hope, every silent plea was a journey that brought you here to me. Now I hold you close, and I understand the power of the prayer, the touch of God's hand. You are the prayer that God answered, the miracle I never knew. In a world so full of whisper dreams to the stars, hoping that the light would guide my heart to where you are. Every longing, every tear, a prayer sent above, for someone to hold me, someone to love. You are the prayer that God answered, the miracle I never knew. In a world so full of strangers, my heart found its way to you. Every step I took was worth it, every moment led me here. You are the prayer that God answered, the love that conquered every fear. In the storm and in the rain,
Patrice,
the weight of the
you are still the most breathtaking person in every room. Every year we spend together, we not being me, just making that clear, but every year we spend together only deepens my admiration for the wonderful woman you are. You are my compass, my confidant, and my forever flame, Rotted. Today and always, my heart belongs completely to you, Woyoy. Thank you for filling our life with such deep connection and laughter. Let's make this day unforgettable and celebrate the magnificent gift that you are. Forever yours, King J. So happy birthday to you, Patrice. Of course you know who that came from.
You know by now, after all is said and done, you'll still be the only one. The years may come, the years may go, but my love remains the same. After all is said and done, through the heartaches and the fun, I wouldn't trade the times we shared. My life's complete with you. You're my inspiration. You're my fascination. Every little thing I do. And I'm so very thankful to spend forever with you. And that's why, after all is said and done, there's just no comparison that makes me feel the way I do every time I'm close to you. There could be no other. You bring me joy night and day. And when you really need me, girl, I'm just a heartbeat away. You're my richest treasure. You give me so much pleasure. You know you're my number one. You can always count on me. After all is said and done. After all. Ooh, baby. After all.
Until you came and brought the sunshine, I was afraid, but in your love I found peace of mind. I was so blind, you opened my eyes and now I can see. I know that you understand, baby, you're all the one that should be. That gets me to tomorrow. Oh, that takes away my sorrow. We'll always
names of the birthday though, because it's funny.
Also celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Leighton Levy. It's your birthday today, Leighton. Veteran sports analyst Leighton Levy. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you an amazing birthday today. Happy birthday as well to Richard Rainford. Richard, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Keisha Muir, Tatiana Sims, Colleen Dietrich, Pauline E.S., Neely Nichols, and Jennifer Pugh. Happy birthday. Wishing you all a lovely one. Happy birthday as well to Marcus McKenzie. Marcus, it's your birthday. Greetings coming from your father, the Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, your mom, Marcia McKenzie, Matthew, Keegan, Marcus, and the entire family. Wishing for you a lovely day.
And happy birthday to Miss Wally, coming from her 5 children and 15 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Happy birthday, Miss Wally. Hope you're having a good one. And happy birthday to Michael Jr. Greetings coming from Dana Johnson to her one son, Michael Jr. Happy birthday, Michael. Hope you have a good one. And happy birthday to twins Ashley Dane and Ashley Thompson from Long Road in Portland. Happy birthday to you both twins. Greetings coming from Varon Jacks Pinnock.
Lornette Powell sending happy 11th birthday to beautiful niece Gianna Powell from Kensington Primary in Portmore, St. Catherine. We love you, Gia. Enjoy your special day. I know Mom and Dad are going to spoil you today. So happy birthday, Gianna Powell. Agatha Shaw sending happy birthday to Mr. Codner and also happy 30th anniversary. So happy birthday to you, Mr. Codner, and also happy 30th anniversary. Wishing for you a good one.
Club was brought to you by Burger King. Have you tried the Burger King's new cheesy fries? Get the best tasting fries topped with a creamy jalapeno cheese sauce. Get yours today.
You fix your makeup just so. Guess you don't know that you're beautiful. Try on every dress that you own. You were fine in my eyes a half hour ago. And if your mirror won't make it any clearer, I'll be the one to let you know. Out of all of the girls, you're my one and only girl. Ain't nobody in the world tonight.
Varon Jack Spinnock sending happy birthday to Claudia Brown Wilson. Happy birthday to you there at Michael. Have a great day from the staff. Claudia Brown Wilson. Robert Peart sending happy birthday to beautiful daughter Abigail. It's your birthday today, Abigail. Happy birthday to you from Dad, Robert Peart. And those are all the birthdays now. If you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
lose our way, 'cause we both know who we are. Who knows about tomorrow? We don't know what's in the stars. I just know I'll always follow the light in your heart. I'm not worried about us, and I've never been. We know how the story ends. We will never break. We will never break. Build on a foundation.
As we wrap, Chinipu 29 Brand sending happy birthday to brother Michael. Happy birthday to you, Michael, coming from your sister Chinipu here in the YouTube chat. Wishing for you a good one. And that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. Thanks to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCray Smith. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
And I'm Said.
Good morning.
Of what love really means.
You just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Equals 3. When we talk about forever, then forever's what we mean. So I'm not worried about us, and I've never been. No matter what may come our way, we will never break.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
JIS Radio presents Roundabout JA, a 5-minute feature on local news, ideas, people, places, and things. Roundabout JA.
Today, we explore which government agency is offering up more inclusive engagement. Stay tuned. I'm Joy Kelly. Let's go Roundabout JA.
Boy, Mitzi, that pregnancy something I call for all heap of things. Clothes, pampers, crib.
Oh, you read so far already. Me not hear you talk about clinic checkups, iron, folic acid pill, healthy food, and them something there.
What all of that for? My mother have 5 hours and never gonna clinic, and she eat what she feel for, and we did alright.
Your pregnancy and your mother own are 2 different something. You climb up in an age, you know, so you're high risk for sugar.